Alright, now we are on Tempest Tantrum Part 3, Night at the Library, the 41st of the Primordial Moon. We're starting our day. Why is there a sheep at my tavern? A nice, gloomy, rainy day. It's looking pretty stormy out there, Renu. I should make sure to keep the windows closed. Hey look, Fable's brother is here. Good morning, Oleander. Morning. What's going on out there? Great question. Are you gonna answer it? Storm's pretty bad. Right. And... Oleander, are you still with me? Sorry, long night and bad headache. Could I maybe get a coffee? I don't think more coffee is what you need. How about something for that headache of yours? Maybe a tincture to soothe your mind for a bit? Sure, I'll take that. Oleander seems like a grumpy Gus. He's $249 on eBay. I think the fuck not. Hard pass on that. Alright, high intellect drink. Let's make the silent owl. Do we have any thingies that will help with that? Not that one. No. Maybe this one. Yeah, that helped. Yeah, I do not have $249 to spend on a plushie right now. That looks right. And some strength. Get in there. Come on. Pour. There we go. Ta-da! Silent owl. That seems kind of fitting for Oleander. The gentlest cure for headaches I have to offer. I may have spent $200 on this skull panda secret. Oh my god! I mean, good for you, but like, oh my god. Thanks. I feel soothed. Want to try telling me about the storm again? Fine, I guess I owe it to you. Quite frankly, it's a nightmare. The storm is causing an alarming number of people to get lost. On one side, you have adventurers who think now is the great time to look for treasure or personal fulfillment. Some of them even want to fight the storm, which is a level of stupidity I previously thought impossible. On the other side, a whole lot of regular good people are in trouble too. They're wandering off the path, deep into the Ashen Grove, unable to find their way out again. Compasses don't work at all anymore, and most people's sense of direction seems akin to that of stale bread. I like Oleander, he's grumpy. In summary, it's a mess. I recommend staying inside. Don't have to tell me twice. But that does sound quite strange. Strange is one word for it. Bothersome is another. What kind of storm do you think it is? No idea. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Got any guesses yourself? It feels somewhat primordial, but maybe that's just the nature of strange storms in general. I certainly haven't gotten any divine visions from the Great Sea Serpent. Granted, he's been very quiet on that front ever since I retired. Primordial, huh? Figures. That explains the frogs. Sorry, the frogs? The frogs in the treehouse? The frogs in the what now? Sorry, I should have clarified. I'm talking about the adventurers who turned into frogs. Good for them. I hope they find some good water lilies. I hope they find a way to turn back into people. Now, why would they want that? And who are they, anyway? Some adventurers got tangled up in some strangeling scrubs. I cut them out of there and agreed to lead them out of the grove. There were 4 of them, each more reckless than the last. It was a hassle leading them back. Especially with all of those aberrations haunting the storm. Not to mention that the adventurers themselves seem to lack any sense of perception whatsoever. The storm keeps getting weirder and weirder. They almost fell into the ravenous pit. Is that what turned them into frogs? No, what sort of ravenous pit turns people into frogs? When we were passing the boundary of the ancient forest, we ran into more of those aberrations. When we defeated them, they just turned into thick and surprisingly aggressive fog. And the fog attempted to engulf us entirely. I managed to fight it off, but the adventurers weren't so lucky. It went into their leader's eyes, which turned a stormy purple, before she suddenly melted into water and got consumed by the storm. What the fuck is happening? I lost sight of the rest as the other aberrations started appearing, and when I found them again later, they had turned into 3 frogs. That's a fascinating side effect. What did you do with the frogventurers? I picked them up and brought them to Fable's treehouse. Made them a little water bath in the kitchen and locked them in there, for now. That way they can't cause any trouble, and the windows keep the fog out well enough. Did you leave them some snacks? Of course. Excellent. So what are you gonna do to get rid of the storm? Nothing. Do I look like an adventurer to you? I mean, yeah, kinda. A little bit. Kind of, just less frog-like. We've still got plenty of bipedal heroes left. I'm sure one of them will take care of it eventually. No need to let it ruin my routine. Hopefully not Baya's ants, right? Do not feed Baya's ants to the frogventurers. Frogventure? Yeah, I don't like that word. I fear you might be underreacting. There are no falling stars this time. Things could be worse. There's still the primordial stars. They could float up. Well, let's keep it to one calamity at a time this run, innkeeper. Anyway, I should check on those frogs. Hey, so where's the axe? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you know, the axe that was right here that contained the soul of my nemesis. Where'd that go? And make sure no one else gets lost. Maybe let the people of Zenith know to stay inside. More character information unlocked for Oleander. While Oleander usually appears to be in a state of constant annoyance, sometimes another side peeks through. He has a strong sense of duty and a desire to help those in need, despite all the complaining. Also, he's good at directions. Thanks to his ranger senses, he can never get lost. Physically, at least. I'll inform a town crier if I can find one. Stay inside, innkeeper. Only because you asked so nicely. He's a treat. Seriously, what happened to the axe? What is going on outside now? What is this? Everything is purple. Hi, innkeeper. The brave adventurers and their assistant author have returned. Accompanying brave adventurers qualifies you as an adventurer as well. Yes, you're a valuable part of the team, Archie. Imagine what would have happened if you hadn't read so many dry geography books. We could have gotten even more lost for sure. Those are genre staples. Very informative page-turners. But even so, finding our way back here was nearly impossible. I'm glad you all made it. Did you find the second piece of Melli's puzzle? Yes. We certainly did. And the puzzle is very hard. Even for me, the great detective, trademark. All my studies of ancient mysteries haven't been helping either. But we still managed to find some clues we can chase after. Sounds like it'll be a longer story then. Is anyone in dire need of a drink before we begin? Me. I got you. What can I make for you today? Something fun. So I can tell you all about our adventure better. I think I know what to do. That would probably be like a high charisma drink, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do charisma. Let's make her a sunny breeze because it's cute. Let's see. I think this needs an infusion. Whoops. Get in there. Get in the glass. There we go. We will load up on some charisma points. And a little bit of intellect. And it's just so darn cute, it matches Baya's flowers. Ta-da! A fun little drink for the cutest little swamp witch. Tee! She's so cute. Oh, she loves it. I do. But now, it's time to tell our story. Very well. Strengthened by your drinks, we headed south through the moon swamp towards Mossberry, until we could finally spot the sea. There was no city in sight, but we knew underwater wasn't far. Right as we left the swamp and our feet touched the water, the luminous algae did its magic. It formed enormous air bubbles around our heads. I was a bit skeptical at first. I've read about shipwrecks and countless drowned victims after all. But I pulled myself together. To write about life, one must experience it. So I dove into the water headfirst. And what can I say? My head stayed completely dry. What fantastic magic, really. It looked a bit silly. The bubble adjusted to the size of his hat, not his head. Just the tip of his feather got a wee bit wet. Meanwhile, Melli's bubble was big enough for her to fit her whole body inside. Because her legs didn't reach outside the bubble, she couldn't swim on her own. But Baya managed to pull her along with ease. So just like underwater did a little over a year ago, we slowly descended. While we were swimming, an unknown world came into view. Fish of all shapes, colors, and sizes, swarms of glowing isopods, and large monstrous creatures in the distance. Right? Bubble Melli would be so cute. They should add that as a costume. The creatures didn't scare you? No, not at all. The drinks you prepared made us swim incredibly fast. None of those monsters could even get close to us. But then, we could finally see the gates of underwater. It was like a dream. No. Even in my wildest dreams, I couldn't have imagined the beauty of that sunken city. The travertine walls and marble pillars, the gentle magical light that illuminated the city and the dark ocean around it, the myriads of colorful, sometimes even glowing sea creatures attracted by the light. It's so much more beautiful than any description I'd read. What a wondrous place. And it I can talk, I swear. And it's in a huge magic bubble. And there, I thought my bubble was big. I'm so glad I decided to go with you on such a wonderful adventure. Where else would I have found the right words and inspiration for my next story? We entered the city through a huge special magical seal that keeps the city dry. Yeah, that's my brain today, actually. I only slept like a couple hours last night, so we're lucky I have this much energy today. Melli was the only one of us with dry clothes, though. I was so very excited to see the Mary Morgan again. We quickly met up with her at the inn she was staying at to ask her about the exact location of the mechanism. I showed her my cool puzzle piece, and she said it definitely looked like the one she saw in the library. I was so excited, I was so close to solving my puzzle. I'm here then going back to bed. Feels, oh, I wish I could go back to bed after. I wish, but I gotta drive and pick up the child from school and then do dinner and then do raid. Always something. We keep busy. She told us the way to the Coralifian library. And then we were ready to go. Did she not come with you? No. Apparently there was an underwater sea light spectacle she wanted to go to later. And we didn't want to interfere with her plans. It was her vacation after all. But we promised to update her later. After another short walk, we finally reached our destination, the Coralifian Library. Of course, we arrived there after opening hours, as was the plan. Which meant it was closed, but we had to get in somehow. So you got that break-in you wanted? Exactly. I can't wait to tell Neil all about our ingenious heist. There was an open window. Hee. My first ever burglary. Don't get Baya into trouble. You hooligans. She's too precious. That was your first one? You handled it so well, I thought you were a professional. The window was on the second floor, far out of anyone's reach, or so I thought. Before I could ask for a grappling hook, Melli was already sitting on the windowsill. I felt a few cold strands of kelp wrap around me and... well, the next thing I remember is lying on the dark wooden floor of the library with a horrible headache. Baya dropped him. It was difficult to estimate the correct height, when throwing him. Oh god, she chucked him. Yeet. I feel like I have a yeet somewhere. All that matters is we got in without any major problems. After we made it inside, it was time to find the second piece of the mechanism. Have you ever visited the Corlefian Library, Innkeeper? Not yet, unfortunately. All I ever do is innkeep. Oh, you really have to. Just the building alone is worth it, let alone all the recipes you could find in there. I'll think about it. The light, polished marble and organic wood made for such a perfect combination. All those arches and tall bookshelves that towered above us mere mortals. And the highlight of the whole structure was the sun dome. The sun dome? The central part of the library is covered by a gigantic glass dome that fills every nook and cranny with warm sunlight. Well, at least until the sun sets, which looked amazing. It was really cool, but it also made me feel very small. The place was so elegant, I didn't want to leave even a trickle of seawater behind. So I quickly got out of my cape and gloves, stored them in the nook next to our entry point. And then I began exploring. I found a news article about the recently renovated ceiling. Seems like the impressive glass dome is a rather new addition to the library. They added it for better lighting and to grant people a glimpse at the world beyond the waves. I found it a bit strange that the renovations seemed to have finished just before the first reports of the alleged book hauntings. Renovations, schmenovations. I was focused on finding the second puzzle piece. Baya and I looked everywhere, but it was nowhere to be found. We followed the Mary Morgan's directions to a T, and even found the damp pillow where it was supposed to be displayed. But no mechanism was in sight. I went back upstairs to see if I could find any documentation on where they might have stored it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any information on their filing system. Instead, I found something far more interesting. An antique book that had collected quite a bit of dust on its spine. It contained stories about the creation of our planes, the dragons, and the mythical creatures they created. Such as spirits? Exactly. I found the description of a certain spirit called the Tempest. A powerful fire spirit created by Leviathan that reminded me of the one Melli freed. It's associated with, well, fire, passion, affection, somehow, and, listen to this, storms. The book contained a dramatic short story about the massive storms in the primordial sea that the Tempest summoned when upset. So you think the storm outside could be caused by an upset Tempest? Bingo. But why is it upset? I didn't do anything. Except set it free. Did it not want to be free? Did the book say anything about mysterious mechanisms, Archie? Well, I couldn't quite finish reading it. While I was leafing through it, I got distracted by a peculiar wet trail on the floor. And sure, it could have been from Baya, or even me. But then I realized that the trail led to where I had left my cape and gloves. Driven by curiosity, I decided to follow it. When I arrived, there was only one single glove left on the floor. The curse of the library! It was so odd. Did my clothes come to life all of a sudden, or did someone take them? We were supposed to be alone after all. At least, so we thought. At first I thought I was imagining things. You know, maybe being underwater isn't good for your psyche. But then I heard it as well. A soft rustling sound I've heard many times before. It was the sound of pages turning, books being opened and closed. As if the library was full of people reading. And then I felt something nibbling on my boots. I looked down, and at first I thought I had just stepped on a book that had fallen off the shelf while we were rummaging around. Then I saw teeth. And a tongue. The book was alive and it was eating my shoe. She screamed so loud, it was a miracle none of the guards heard. But I knew exactly what we were dealing with. Are they mimics? They were creatures I'd read about numerous times before. Every fictional adventure runs into them at least once every few books. Mimics! Yeah, I love mimics. I don't think I've ever seen anyone proclaim that word so happily before. Well, it was my first time actually seeing one in the wild. Though I would have expected them to look more like treasure chests or doors. Suddenly the whole floor was swarming with books. Books with dozens of long pointy teeth. Books that wanted to eat me alive. Forgotten were our plans to find the mechanism. We had to defend ourselves first. I'd read enough about mimics to know exactly what to do in such a situation. I drew my rapier to defend us, but, well, my weapon wasn't really needed. Your drinks made us so fast those evil books couldn't even get near us. And they stood no chance against my witchcraft. Whips made out of kelp were snapping the mimics apart like twigs. Good thing they weren't actual books. That would have been a horrible sight to behold. As I was taking notes on my friend's heroics, I heard a particularly wet sound coming from across the room. I stumbled towards it, nearly slipping on the numerous pages scattered on the ground. And lo and behold, there were my missing clothes. A poor mimic had tried to swallow them, but ended up spitting them out. Maybe they tasted like old books. Or wet socks. Hey. Those books were so hungry, they were trying to eat everything in their path. So, naturally, I started hunting for the book that must have eaten my puzzle piece. I was sure it had to be somewhere around all those angry pages. And guess what? I spotted it. The mechanism was inside what looked to be a tome of ancient arts and crafts. I yelled out for Baya to restrain the book. Then I leapt forward and snatched the mechanism right out of the creature's maw. It was covered in mimic goo, but I could still see the citrine underneath. Obviously, we didn't have time to investigate it right then and there. So I yelled, "Come on, let's get out of here," and quickly jumped out the window. I picked Archie up by the waist and slithered down the outside wall. I could still hear the mimics wrestling around inside, but none of them chased after us. We made it out. I survived my second adventure. I mean, the adventure wasn't over just yet. We still had to get back to the surface. We snuck far away from the library until it felt safe enough for us to simply blend in with Underwater's evening crowds. Afterwards, Baya bought a postcard to update the Mary Morgan, as well as a souvenir for, who was it again? Fable's brother? Yes, I got Oleander some coral sprigs. That's quite lovely, Baya. Indeed. Anyway, after that we made it back to the barrier seal, and then back out into the sea. As soon as we stepped outside, the magic bubbles returned to us. We made it back to the surface with no issues. Well, there was one issue. I don't know how. Maybe it was the strange storm, but we accidentally swam south instead of north. I was really confused. I didn't understand where my swamp had gone, or why we were standing in the middle of some mud flats. It was clear we were stranded by the Wadden Sea, but it was already so late, and we were all pretty exhausted. So we decided to stay the night at a tavern in Borkum. We found Una's favorite tavern. Do you mean I'm her second favorite? Huh. I'm pretty sure she said favorite. She's just afraid of vulnerability. Speaking of taverns, innkeeper, can I order a drink now, please? That dramatic tale made me thirsty. I know, right, rude Una? Of course. Do you already have a drink in mind? Yes, I would like to order a hot chocolate. Oh, I knew it. One hot chocolate coming right. Oh wait, I would like an extra fancy hot chocolate, like with glitter or marshmallows on top. A kitty after my own heart. Sadly, I'm fresh out of marshmallows. Oh. But I could substitute them for some ghost berries. They pop in your mouth when bitten and add a fun twist to your drink. Oh. Yes, I'd love some of those. Very well. Listen here, ban invader. Get fucking banned again. Ban. Alright. Go on, get. Why is this so hard to do? Close. There we go. Okay. Really hard to do from the little Twitch panel thingy. Okay, so we want hot chocolate with ghost berries. Whoops. Pop that up. Choose a hot chocolate, which has a lot of agility that I don't think Melli needs more of, but you know, we'll give her zoomies, it's fine. And then a little bit of defense. And that should be it. Yes, hot chocolate from Melli. Beat me to it, I was grabbing my phone. No worries, I have like technically 2 Twitch windows to the side, so I have 2 opportunities to do it. It's just so tiny. Alright, how's your hot chocolate? I love it. It's sweet and warm and perfect. Anyway, please continue. You arrived at the tavern? Exactly. Finally, we could dry our clothes and examine the completed puzzle. Well, we couldn't quite figure out how to fit the pieces together, but we had both parts. The second piece was larger than the first and had weird round layers that made entirely of citrine. And someone had scratched something into it. Not sure what though, but there was a lot of scratches. There was also this indentation. Exactly, that. Like, it looked like 2 pieces would just snap into place, but no matter how we turned the second one, it never fit. One protruding arm of citrine was always in the way. And there was also a second indentation whose purpose we couldn't figure out either. So what did you figure out? They learned nothing. Well, I just want to say it was a pretty tough puzzle. And we had had a long day. And also the lighting in the tavern was exceptionally bad. You didn't figure anything out, did you? Nope. We worked so hard to get the second piece, but it seemed like something was still missing. And I really wanted to fix what I had messed up. So the tavern might not have had the best amenities. What it did have, though, was a peculiar guest who overheard our frustrated sighing. Turned out he was a researcher who also got lost because of the strange storm. He was on his way to Zoford and ended up in Borkum, just like us. And he was very friendly. He told us he got attacked by an angry fire spirit on his way out of the Forbidden Valley. And the spirit's description sounded eerily familiar. He got away and tried to make it back home. Apparently he had just finished his research assignment on the eating habits of giant toads in the Forbidden Valley. But he lost some of his notes running from the spirit. Which got me thinking, if we can't figure out the puzzle, we'll just have to figure out the spirit instead. Hooray! I decided we'll follow it to the Forbidden Valley. The researcher gladly gave us directions on how to get to their research outpost. Not that they're very useful when the storm going on right now. So that's your next destination, the Forbidden Valley? Yes. I've heard it's a dangerous place. The researcher said the same thing. He said there's a huge poisonous lake that you need to pass by to even get in. That lake sounds like a beautiful place. Yeah, beautiful and not at all bad if you fall in. Sounds so not scary and safe and normal. Melli, are you sure you want to go there? Yes? No. But I want to solve this riddle and fix the mess I made. You know it's okay to take a step back from time to time. But I'm Fasoa's greatest detective. I don't want to be a coward. You're not a coward, you're responsible. If you don't think you can handle this, it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes that's the smarter thing to do. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with not being able to do everything yourself. It would be a very lonely world if there was. I'll go collect clues in the valley for you, Melli, and I'll bring the puzzle back safely to your paws like the best assistant. Okay, thank you. To be honest, I'm kind of relieved. I was really scared there for a moment. And I trust you to solve this case for me. Very well then. I will write up a quest for it post-haste. Wonderful. But we might need a few more brave adventurers for this journey. I'll start asking around. But before I leave, after all that talking, I'm in dire need of a drink, dear innkeeper. Of course. Anything specific in mind? Maybe something that'll steal my vocal cords for recruiting more assistants to protect me from a sore throat tomorrow. Leave it to me. I think I could use whatever drink I'm about to mix up. Okay. Oh, strange. We're going with something with lots of defense. I thought for sure he would want to go with charisma to keep him yapping more. So we'll do a steel tonic, and I think I need an infusion for this one. But which one? This one. Let's go with the chilies. I think that'll do wonderfully. So a couple points of this. And then this. We still need to decide what we're gonna stream. What am I missing here? I think I put too much of that in. Drink that. Is that correct? I think it's correct. Okay, we still need to decide what we're gonna stream after this. I was still thinking either Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill F, but nobody has, like, it's been, like, I made a poll, and it was equal parts, like, people voting for Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill F. F? You're thinking F? I started playing it, but I haven't played it all the way through. You'll break the tie? Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so, like, when we're done with Tavern Talk, Silent Hill F will be the next one. Do you think I should finish it before stream so we could do, like, the new game plus mode or whatever? Because I heard that's, like, the real way to play it is, like, your second playthrough. I'm so excited. All right, Liquid Steel just for you. Thank you very much. Oh, hi, Mayrunes. I was like, who is this Gajinkas? Up to you. Yeah, I've heard, like, mixed things. Like, some people are like, oh, yeah, like, the second playthrough you do is, like, the real way to experience it. But, I would totally be super fine with my first playthrough being on stream. I feel like that would be really cool, too. Thank you very much. This is exactly what I needed. Also, thank you for stopping by, Mayrunes. I feel like I have never seen you over here before, but I appreciate it. It's just the story stuff you didn't see before? Okay. I mean, either way, like, I'll probably play it twice. Just, I don't think I would play it twice for stream. I can already feel the itching in my throat subsiding. Melli, do you want to help us choose the right people for the quest? Other goodies you won't spoil? I appreciate the no spoilers. I'm really impressed I haven't seen very many. Like, outside of some people posting screenshots of some of the creatures, I have not seen any major spoilers, and I appreciate that about the community. You've been here a few times before? During the Tavern Talk playthrough? Oh, when I was playing Avowed, yeah, that's true. We haven't played Avowed in a really long time. And we never finished that one because they're gonna do more updates, which I feel like should be out by now. But they're not. You can absolutely come and help us ask around. Oh yes, I would love to. Good luck, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Are we gonna get to make a quest? Also, it's super pretty outside, but nobody's really addressed, like, the purple fog. I did end up beating Avowed, like, off stream, though, because I had to finish it. And I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to maybe either doing another stream of it when it's completely updated and everything's out, or maybe just doing, like, a YouTube video, like, YouTube series for it. We'll see. I liked it. Alright, so an angry fire spirit, presumably the Tempest, was last seen near the Forbidden Valley, wreaking havoc and scaring off researchers. The wind and weather patterns seem to be changing, visibility is dropping, and compasses are starting to fail. Nothing to worry about, surely. And Melli's mysterious puzzle piece seems to have something to do with the dragons themselves, as does the angry fire spirit she freed. No biggie. So this is another one of those quests where I feel like the sticky notes don't really go cohesively together, but obviously these are the only 3 sticky notes we have, so we're making a quest out of it. A tempest is announced. The mechanism, as well as the spirit that inhabited it, is rooted in the realms of the great dragons. The tempest storm is wreaking havoc and causing confusion all across Fasoa as people get lost or turn into frogs. Someone needs to put an end to this and track the Tempest down. It was last seen in the Forbidden Valley, where it may be getting up to forbidden shenanigans. What can possibly stop this force of nature? I wonder who's going to take this quest. And we are feeding Andu, cleaning up the tavern, and wrapping it up for the night.